Sadasya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavindra ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Prem se Gaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sri Radha Krishna Gaur Gopinath Sam Kund Radha Kund Giridhar ki jai, Vṛndāvana Dham ki jai, Navadvip Dham ki jai, Swami Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Ganga Mai ki jai, Jamuna Mai ki jai, Tulasi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Swami Bhaktivedanta ki jai. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Following his class on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 1, chapter number 7, verse 20 and 21st, given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on 17th of September 1976, delivered at Vṛndāvana. Again, Canto 1st, chapter number 7, verse number 20 and 21. Hare Krishna.
Life was in danger. He touched water and sanctity and concentrated upon the changing of the hymn
direction, affecting life, having observed it, Vishnu, unto the Lord, Jishnu, Arjuna, Vacha,
Translation. Thereupon the glaring light spread in all directions, and it was so fierce that Arjuna thought his own life in danger, and so he began to address Lord Krishna.
Tupas sprishya salilam sangdadhi tat samahitaha vajanan napisangharam pranapacha upasthite tato pradishkitanga teja prachandam sarvatu disam pranapadam avipeksha Vishnu Jishnu Rubacha. So, necessity has no law. This Brahmavanda, he knew how to create this Brahmastra. He learnt it, but he knew it also that this weapon is not to be used and generally. In very, very rare cases, this should be used. As I explained, that atomic bomb, the nuclear weapon, is not used when there is a fight between two dogs. It is not so insignificant. When the fight is very severe, just like your country used this nuclear bomb, when the Japanese people dared to attack your Pearl Harbor. At that time your president was Mr. Truman. So it was not to be used, but he took little more precaution. Anyway, such weapon, deadly weapon, should not be used ordinarily. Therefore, here it is said that pranakritsam upasthite. He knew that Arjuna was after him and there is no escape. He would be killed. So whatever last resort he knew, he used that knowledge to throw Brahmastra so that the other party may be killed altogether. But ajanan api sanghara. He was not willing, but he did not know how to withdraw that. And formerly they used to know it. They could throw one Brahmastra and if he likes can withdraw. Or the other party can nullify. This is what fair. But he did not know that. How to counteract it, he did not know that. Another point is here, this mantra weapon is so strong that it can be manufactured simply by touching water with mantra. Just like we take mantra, Abhovitra Pavitra va sarvavasthangato piva jasmaret mandarika sava. The same process. Do not think that it is some ritualistic external. No, it has got meaning. If you can chant the mantra properly, if you follow the rules and you must be expert in chanting mantra. Hare Krishna mantra we are chanting, and Haridas Thakur is also chanting. Haridas Thakur, how advanced he was, just imagine, he was a young man and a very nice, beautiful prostitute came there dead of night, wanted to enjoy his company, and he said simply, very good idea, please sit down, let me finish my Hare Krishna. Is it possible for ordinary man? No, it is not possible. That means he was expert, he was advanced. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised, Ya haite sarva siddhi haive tama. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, simply by chanting you will get all success of life. Sarva siddhi. It is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessing. Ya haite sarva siddhi haive tama. By simply chanting, one gets the highest perfection. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's blessing and gift. So we should be very careful and follow the regulatory principles. Then automatically you will be perfect. There is no doubt about it. Mantra, just like sometimes the snake charming mantra can be purchased in the market. But if you do not make yourself perfect about chanting the mantra, it will not be effective. I'll give you one practical instance. It is not a story, it is a fact. It was spoken, perhaps some of you know that my friend who came here, Dr. Ghosh, he told me when they were students, there was a case in Lucknow University, they were students. So there is a big building and 2-3 snake biting case happened. So some snake charmer was invited to find out the snake and take it. So he came. He came and took it away, the snake. Then these Dr. Bose and his class friends, they are medical students. Naturally, the so-called modern scientists, they do not believe in all these things. So they become very inquisitive. All of them went to that snake charmer. He was a Mohammedan gentleman. So he knew that these students, medical students, they have come to see the fun, how the snakes are charmed. So he inquired, what is the matter? What is the magic that you can catch up snake and the snake cannot do any harm to you? So he said, it is possible, by mantra. By mantra it can be done. So they challenged, oh, your snakes, I think they are poisonless and they cannot bite, there is no poison, the poison teeth, the fang is taken out. No, they have got everything. So he took one and showed that here is. So to make a fun, he had many snakes. He let them all come out from the box. And immediately, all over the courtyard, just like courtyard, they began to run over, and all these medical students, they became afraid. They were fleeing this side, that side, that side. So the charmer said, don't be afraid. So long I am here, they will not bite. This was spoken by Dr. Ghosh, a personal experience. The mantra has got so much power. But not that you purchase the mantra and chant, that will not. You have to make it perfect. There is process how to become perfect in chanting the mantra. Similarly, it is an ordinary material mantra. This is a spiritual mantra. I have already explained this Hare Krishna mantra is spiritual mantra, it is not material. Therefore, I have already explained Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana. It is not ordinary sound vibration, material sound, radio, no. Spiritual, Golokera Premadhana. If we actually chant this Hare Krishna mantra properly, without any offense, then once chanting is sufficient to make you free from the reaction of all sinful life. Once chant. There is no question of chanting 1,000 times. It is said, Eka Hari Name Jato Pap Hare, Papi Hoye Tato Pap Koribare Nare. Once chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, I can vanquish so much accumulated reaction of sinful life, that a first-class papi, or the very expert papi, he cannot commit so many paps. It is so powerful. So if we chant it properly, that's chanting Dasavidha, 10 offenses, without offenses, Nama Parad, Sunno, without any Nama Parad. If we chant according to the principle, then the mantra will act. Mantra will act and so nicely that the mantra will keep you always in touch with the Supreme Personality of God. That is the power of mantra. Don't think it is a hobby or it is something superfluous. No. Actually, this mantra, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna himself. So if you are allowed to keep yourself constantly in company with Krishna, then just imagine what is your position. If you keep yourself always near the fire, certainly you shall remain warm. There will be no attack of cold or anything like that. So if we constantly chant Hare Krishna mantra, then we are not in this material world. But if we purposefully again come to the material world, that independence we have got. But if we chant Hare Krishna mantra according to the instruction, Sankha Purvaka Namagana Nativi, we have to practice, because Goswamis, they kept a number, a numerical strength. Haridas Thakur kept the biggest. Others they also kept, but not so big. But because just like Rupa Goswami, he had to write so many books, so he was not keeping such a big number, 3 lakh. But there was some numerical. Similarly, we must have some numerical strength, and we have minimized. I know that you are coming from a different source. So according to time, according to circumstances, in that there is no limit. You can chant more than 1600 times, there is no. But practically we see that even chanting 16 rounds becomes difficult. So don't try to imitate, but do it properly, what is advised by your spiritual master, without any offense. That mantra will save you from the dangers of Maya. That's a fact. You see, he manufactures this deadly weapon. It is material. Still, it is so deadly weapon, Brahmastra. He is not working in a laboratory, finding out so many chemicals to make an atomic nuclear weapon. Simply water. You see, here it is said, Atho upasprisya salilam. Just like we do. Namo pavitra pavitra va sarvavasthangatho. If we do it properly, then it has got immense potency. Immense potency. Don't think it is childish. It is formality. No. Let's see here. Atho upasprisya salilam sangdadhi tat samahita. This is what is samahita. Completely in trance. This is the process. So, these things are required. How to become samahita, samadhista, in trance. If we take it as childish play, formality, that it will act, but it will take long time. But if you do it properly, you will be quickly successful. In one life, you will be successful. You don't require to wait. My Guru Maharaj used to say that although this process is guaranteed, but don't wait for another life. Finish this business in this life. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, even though one falls immaturely, then yoga bhrasta suchinang simatangihi yoga bhrasta sanjayate. One who has not been successful, one is fallen from this bhakti yoga. For him also there is guarantee, nice. That guarantee, Krishna said, that Suchinang Simatangihi Yoga Bhrasta Sanjaya. Suchinang. Then he is given the chance of taking birth in a very pious Brahmin's family. Not ordinary. Suchinang. Suchi means Brahman. And Simatang. Sri means fortune. And Mat means one possesses fortune. That means very rich man. Srimatange yoga bhrasta sanjayate. Even yoga bhrasta. Therefore, Narad Muni has said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Tattva sadharmam charanambujam hare bhajanna pakota patit tato jadi Oba Bhadra Abhut Amussakim. This verse is very important. He says that if one takes sentimentally this Krishna consciousness movement, Tattva Sadharmam, just like in our Krishna consciousness movement, you young men, young boys and girls are coming. You had some engagement previously, undoubtedly. You may be, you are a student, you may be a businessman or so on, everyone has some, at least you have some business for LSD. So, you have given up all this. Tattva sadharmam. Some are somehow or other you are all engaged in some business. That is called sadhana. Sadhana means one has selected some business, that is his sadhana. Generally, if it is systematic, then sadhana means Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. This is systematic sadhana. Otherwise, everyone must have some engagement. Suppose a thief, he has taken the occupation or profession of stealing. That is also sadhana. But that is not systematic, that is whimsical. So anyone must have some engagement. That engagement is called sadhana, his own business, occupation. Sakarma or sadharma. So, if by chance somebody comes attracted by this Krishna consciousness movement and gives us his profession, a good profession or bad profession. And there is no good profession in this material world, everything is bad. That is, here we have divided, this is good, this is bad, this is mental concoction, it has no value. Because material world is bad. I have given this example many times, just like stool, the upside and downside. Downside is moist and upside is dry. If somebody says, this side is very nice, what is it downside? It is stool. Why do you forget? The dry side is good and moist side is bad. But it is true, this side or that side. Similarly, Chaitanya Charitamritakar, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has said, Daite Bhadra Bhadra Sakali Sama. Ei bhalo, ei manda, sab mano dharma. Daite, in the material world, Daite, Bhadra Bhadra. This is good, this is bad. It is all mental construction. After it is material world, either you become very expert in handling this material affair, very big businessman, Mr. Ford, Mr. this and that, or so many things. What is the meaning of this successful answer? You have to die, you have to suffer from disease, just like nowadays the flu is going on. Does it mean that a big man or a rich man will not suffer? When the disease is there, either you are big man or rich man or poor man or small man, everyone has to suffer. So long you will be in the material world, if you do not rectify yourself, Shuddham Satya, Tapo Dibbam Jino, Suddheta Satya, if you don't rectify your existence, then this Dharma Mitra Jarabadi will go on. Then what is the good? Actually there is no good. Ei bhalo, ei mondo, sab manodha. It is simply mental concoction. So, in the material world, even if you become very expert to deal with your business very nicely, it is all useless. Kovarthayapta bhajatang sadharma. If one does not become Krishna conscious, his so-called success in this material world or failure, they have no value. Rather, if by sentiment somebody comes to Krishna consciousness and if for a few days he chants Hare Krishna mantra, their success in future at least guaranteed. So, it is so nice thing. If you neglectfully chant, still there is success, but it will take some time. And if you chant very carefully, with following the rules and regulations, then your success in this life is guaranteed. So, we can make our choice. Because always Krishna gives us the chance to make our choice. Jathechasi tatha kuru. Whatever you like can do. So my request, it is my duty, because you have accepted me as your spiritual master. So I am repeating my spiritual master's order that don't wait for another life. That is very risky. Another life. Maybe I am given the chance of taking my birth in a good Brahmin family or rich family. But there is chance of again being spoiled. As we see, there are so many rich men's sons. They have got all the opportunity of chanting Hare Krishna. They have no economic problem. Father's property, immense property he has got. So he has no anxiety for economic problems. That is a chance. To take birth in a rich family means he has no economic problem. Because for economic problem we see nowadays people are putting on thela, a rickshaw for 2 breads, because he is condemned to take such life, to work like an ass, like an animal. We see practically. So one who is born in this family, he should think that Krishna, but he has no knowledge, he has no good advisor, he has no guru. So he thinks that I have got this money for nothing, let me enjoy. Wine and woman, let me. He becomes spoiled. So although he was given the chance, Suchinang Simutange, Janmai Sajja Sutasri, although he was given the chance by nature's law, he spoils himself. Just like in America. I always say that you are born in a rich nation's family, your country is not poor, there is no scarcity, but you should take advantage of it. Don't spoil your life because you have got so much money for nothing or every enjoyable thing. You should always think it is all Krishna's mercy that we have got this opportunity. We are honored as Americans. Now because the Americans, they have misused their opportunity, now they are degrading. To save your country, take this Krishna consciousness movement and enlighten them. Enlighten them. That is your service, actually, service of the country. Push this Krishna consciousness movement. They have got good opportunity and it will be very successful, material and spiritually. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachadam pangum langayate girim yat kripatam hamande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwara. Hare Krishna, thank you for coming this morning for yet another beautiful class by Srila Prabhupada. So I think we have literally just a few minutes, not very long, about 8 minutes, but we'll try to squeeze in the key messages that we have here from this class today. So anyone remembers the verse numbers, please, first of all, of this verse today? 1, 7, 20 and 21. Yeah. So we are referring to the pastime where Ashwatthama has, of course, he has killed 5 sons of Draupadi, and now Arjun is after his life, and he's scared. So and he because he knows he has no other resort to save himself, he triggers a Brahmastra. Is it working? Yeah. So then, so Prabhupada is of course trying to churn out, the key messages for us here. And because this is all about using the mantra, did you get any immediate points that Prabhupada picked up? Because I could actually sense Prabhupada divided this class into 2 parts. And in the first part, which was a very key and main messages for us, he was talking about something specific about mantras. But material and spiritual mantras. Yeah, but there's something more now. Prabhupada, this was actually the last class that he was talking about, because this is in continuation. Anything more? There was more Prabhupada was talking about generally chanting, and then he makes few points after that.
Hare Krishna. So he mentions many points of the mantra.
Yeah.
One of the points that stood out for me, that he was mentioning about the Brahmastra, that's a material sum, that's powerful, but this is even more powerful, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra,
Yes.
Go look at Pramadana Harinam Sankirtan.
Sankirtan.
I think as devotees we don't realize the power of our mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, and that he even says that even if a person of sinful activities, a papa, that he commits, he still can't counteract the Hare Krishna mantra, because it's just so powerful.
Yes.
That's one point that really stood out for me.
Exactly. So Prabhupada is actually talking about the process of chanting here. So in the first 20 minutes that we hear, he's talking about the process of chanting. And while, as practitioners, we are obviously constantly reminded about how powerful this mantra is, but here now Prabhupada, if you probably go back and listen to it again, Prabhupada is also talking about what we need to do from our side to make this process effective and this chanting effective. And he gives one particular example here. I don't know if anyone remembers that. There was one particular example, very famous example of our tradition. He's a Namacharya, Haridas Thakur. And he says it's the same Haridas Thakur, if you could see, he could withstand the biggest temptations because he was chanting this mantra so nicely. So let's go through. I picked up 3 points actually, which I felt was very powerful. So first Prabhupada says, he says, you have to make it perfect. There is process. How to become perfect in chanting the mantra. If you do not make yourself perfect and chanting the mantra, it will not be effective. So while we talk about mantra as being the most powerful mantra, the Maha Mantra in the universe, Prabhupada is saying we also have to make ourselves ready to take on that strength, that it is on us actually, because it's a two-way relationship. It's the reciprocation of the mantra, and that happens when we make ourselves effective. So let's look at that. I think something along these lines, I remember yesterday when Chandramauli Maharaj was giving a class, he mentioned about, as devotees, we are very good with what is to be followed, but we are not very good with what is to be avoided. He talked about that actually briefly in his... Okay. So there is one example that Prabhupada gives here about how to... He starts off with that example. Of course, he gives many, but one example where he states how we can stay close to the mantra. What is that analogy? Anyone would like to share? Someone on this side? Sorry. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
The fire?
The fire, yes.
We should, chanting Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
It's like always keeping the fire there.
Yes.
So we can always stay warm.
Stay warm, exactly.
And yeah.
Yeah, actually it comes, from, of course, in Western countries we have the heating and all of that. But in India, actually, there is this, in winter time, people in villages would gather around like a bonfire or a fireplace and then just keep themselves warm. So Prabhupada is actually referring to that example that if we stay close to the mantra, it gives us protection. And similar example that Srila Prabhupada gives is about like when a fisherman, when he throws the net, the fishes that are far away, they come into the net. But the fishes that are close to the feet of the fisherman, they are not caught. So it's a similar example. What Prabhupada is saying, the more we stay close to the mantra. Anyone has any reflections on what does he mean by staying close to the mantra? What does he mean by staying close to the mantra? Yes, Prabhu. Srinivas Prabhu.
Constant chanting.
Constantly chanting, exactly. Very true. That means like Rupa Goswami's principle, never, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Yes, David Prabhu. I think David Prabhu wanted to share as well.
I think chanting with quality, with attention.
Chanting with quality and attention, yes. Yes.
The most, I think, really important is surrounding your environment with those devotees.
Yes. Yeah.
We see in previous times, we can see how, the six Goswamis, such illustrious personalities that people would take advantage of it. Naturally, then the inclination is there to chant.
The association.
Yeah,
the association. We remain in that association. So yeah, there are many aspects to staying close to the mantra. Like Prabhu said, chanting with quality, chanting with attention, chanting in the association of those who are chanting purely. A lot of times, sometimes when devotees chant, they put on Prabhupada chanting because we want to feel. We chant with tulsi beads because that is also association. Our beads are actually made of tulsi because it is said that if we are chanting in the association of a pure devotee, then, the process is effective. And, and it says, so if you are allowed to keep yourself constantly in company with Krishna, then just imagine what is your position. If you keep yourself always near the fire, certainly you shall remain warm. That's the example we always, we just now discussed. Then another thing that Prabhupada talks about, chanting with instructions. Any points on that? Chanting with instructions. He said we chant the Maha Mantra according to the instructions. Any reflections on that? Avoid the offenses, yes. There was one particular example he mentioned when he talked about chanting with instructions, by following the instructions. Anybody on the ladies' side? So Prabhupada talked about the numerical strength there. Right, like how we have our Namacharya Haridas Thakur, he would chant. How many rounds did he chant? 192, I think, right? 192 rounds in a day. And then that's why he says, and a lot of times we get asked this question that, why do we have to chant 16 rounds? What is the importance of 16 rounds? We ask these questions a lot of times when we start getting into the process, or if we are talking to someone who's new to the process. So then Prabhupada talks, there is a strength in that number. And of course, according to the time, place and circumstance, Prabhupada has devised this process of making it 16. But the number is also about, if you look at it from a practical aspect, Prabhupada says number also brings about the regularity, the consistency in our practice. because that is the time we will sit down and have that one-to-one time with Krishna. We'll be talking to Krishna through the Mahamantra, seeking service, seeking blessings, seeking mercy. So the number also is also a very important part. Doing the right number. I think a lot of us, when we are sharing Krishna consciousness with others and we get new people who are learning to chant, one of the key messages that we give them is, okay, never mind if you're not able to chant 16 rounds, if you're able to even chant 2 rounds daily, but make sure that's your daily practice. So having that regularity, that constant thing in our practice is very, very key also in the process of chanting. Anything else about the process of chanting that stood out for you? Yes, Vishal Prabhu.
He quoted a verse, Atha upashriya shailam sandate tat samahita. So samahita, he mentioned, is being completely in trance.
Being completely in trance.
Maybe that's the way we can.
Yeah, exactly. I also picked it up, and he says, if we do it properly, then it has got immense potency. Like he talks about, he gives the example of even a Brahmastra, that how a Brahmastra could also be triggered even simply with water. That chanting, the mantra itself has got so much of power, but if we do it properly, it doesn't need too much. We don't need too much of so many things around us to kind of make it effective for us. Even with water, something like Brahmastra could be triggered. So imagine the power of Mahamantra, which is purely a spiritual mantra. If we do it properly, how much strength it can carry. And he says, Haridas Thakur, of how he remained fixed even in the most tempting situations. And I was also thinking about this famous conversation that Shrutkirti Prabhu and Srila Prabhupada had, and Shrutkirti Prabhu asked him how to chant, and Prabhupada said, what is the difficulty? The tongue has to chant and the ear has to hear. So there is no difficulty, So just chanting it properly, chanting it with attention, chanting it regularly, and building that two-way relationship with the Mahamantra, the Harinam Prabhu, and that would actually, help us to improve the process of chanting. I'm just conscious of the time actually. There are a lot more points as well, but it's already 5 past. Anybody, I think Mataji this side wants to say something.
Hare Krishna. Chanting with like a child crying or sentimental.
For the mother.
Yeah, personal.
Personal, yes.
It's
chanting.
Important.
Yeah,
Not
nice.
Mechanic, but personal.
Personal chanting, yes. Thank you. That's a very good point.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
About the power of the mantra, this history about snakes, I don't understand very well, but it's like that the doctor say that until I will be here, the snakes will not, how to say?
Yes. They will not harm basically, because that snake charmer, he knew those mantras of how to keep those snakes under control. So he says, even if you let them loose, but because I'm here and I have kind of controlled them through the mantra, so they will not be harming anyone. So he says, as long as I am here, then it's fine. It's the same way I was thinking about it, it's the same way we have so many snakes of desires and ignorance around us. And Srila Prabhupada says, as long as I'm here, you don't have to worry. So he's the kind of a snake charmer in our lives, actually. He gave us the Maha Mantra.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any last points? David Prabhu, yes.
Just to say that senses are compared to like serpents, and by chanting we become purified. So it's like serpents, which with no teeth or no poison.
Exactly. Thank you. Senses are like serpents. Yes, Prabhupada gives that analogy a number of times. Okay, I think we can close. devotees must be waiting to go for breakfast. So thank you very much for listening, and thank you for your inputs and your participation. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Patita nam pavane bhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.